Talaiòtica, Menorca, Cyclopean Island, Odyssey, Spain. But before I give the floor to the Secretariat, Mr. Balsamo, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairperson. We received a factual error notification concerning the evaluation of the Talaiòtica, Menorca, Cyclopean Island, Odyssey nomination. And this is to be found on page 88 of both the English and French version of document INF 8B4. This notification has some factual correction that have an impact on the related statement of outstanding universal value, and this correction are already reflected in our version in the Secretariat. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Balsamo. Ecomos, you may have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. This is a presentation of the ICOMOS evaluation of Talaiòtica, Menorca, a Cyclopean Island, Odyssey, Spain. The ICOMOS report can be found in document inf.ab1 on page 232 of the English version and page 251 of the French version. On this evaluation, ICOMOS has received a letter on factual errors and has acknowledged clarifications and editorial changes. Next slide, please. The nominated serial property includes 9 component parts, which encompass a high density of archaeological sites situated in agropastoral landscapes. A testimony to the occupation of the island by prehistoric communities, these sites display a diversity of prehistoric settlements and burial places. The materials, forms, and locations of structures dating from the Bronze Age, 1600 BCE, to the late Iron Age, 123 BCE, during the period known as Talaiòtica, show the evolution of a Cyclopean architecture built with very large blocks of stone and of a spatial organization that suggests the emergence of a hierarchical society. Distinct visual interconnections between archaeological sites indicate the existence of social networks, and astronomical orientations imply possible cosmological meanings. The comparative analysis developed around qualitative assessment of 4 main parameters demonstrates the exceptionality of the serial property within its geocultural region based on the proposed outstanding universal value and the related features and attributes being compared. The nominated property meets criteria 3 and 4, and the serial approach is justified. Next slide, please. The boundaries of the component parts have been defined based on archaeological evidence, visibility analysis, topography, and ecological environments, as well as a delimitation of plots with dry stone walls. In 8 of the 9 component parts, the settings of the archaeological sites are included within the boundaries. 2 buffer zones totaling 19 hectares are proposed to reinforce protection of the nominated property's landscape. The component parts are of adequate size and present a diversity of environments in which the prehistoric settlements are located, and the boundaries adequately ensure the complete representation of the features and processes that convey the property's significance. The property does not suffer unduly from adverse effects of development and/or neglect. The authenticity of the nominated property is based on the ability of the series as a whole to truthfully and credibly express its cultural values through its attributes, which include the prehistoric Cyclopean structures that illustrate the evolution of dry stone buildings on the island from the Bronze to the Iron Age. The requirements for authenticity and integrity have been met. Some recommendations have been included in the draft decision in order to reduce the vulnerability of the integrity of some components. Next slide, please. The nominated serial property is protected by an integrated system of environmental, cultural, landscape, and territorial protection regimes overseen by the Island Council of Menorca. 231 of the 280 prehistoric archaeological sites within the component parts are protected under a Heritage of Cultural Interest designation, or BIC, which is the highest level of protection for cultural assets under the Spanish legislation. The Menorca Island Land Use Plan 2020 further protects all 9 component parts of the serial property as areas of landscape interest. The Island Council of Menorca is responsible for managing the nominated serial property, enforcing all laws for the protection of heritage, and implementing planning instruments. It has created the Talaiòtica Menorca Agency, a specific entity dedicated to coordinating and implementing the programs established in the management plan, approved in 2021, which includes conservation, restoration, monitoring, visitor management, communication, and research. ICOMOS considers that the legal protection of the nominated serial property is adequate, and that the proposed management system seems well conceived. However, its effectiveness needs to be evaluated as further experience is gathered and be adapted as required. Next slide, please. Here is a summary of the ICOMOS evaluation of the property. Of the proposed outstanding universal value of the property. Next slide, please. To conclude, ICOMOS recommends that Talaiòtica Menorca, a Cyclopean island odyssey, Spain, be inscribed on the World Heritage List on the basis of criteria 3 and 4, and has included a number of further recommendations in the draft decision to aid the long-term conservation of the property. Mr. Chair, ICOMOS would like to present one of the additional recommendations related to the name of the property. ICOMOS recommends that the state party consider changing the name of the property to become Prehistoric Sites of Talaiòtica Menorca. Next slide, please. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much. I would like to see if there are any comments from the floor regarding this nomination. So I see none, and I therefore invite you, dear colleagues, to adopt the draft decision 45Com 8B.24. But before doing so, I'd like to ask the rapporteur if she has received any amendment on the draft decision proposed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have received no amendment for the draft decision 45Com 8B.24.
Thank you very much. And if there are no comments, I therefore declare draft decision 45Com 8B.24 adopted. Congratulations to Spain on behalf of the entire committee. Spain, you may have the floor.
Thank you very much, Señor Presidente. Merci beaucoup à tous.
Thank you all. Thank you. As the Ambassador of Spain to UNESCO, on behalf of the Government of Spain, on behalf of my country, the Kingdom of Spain, I wish to express the immense pleasure and pride we have at the inscription of this property. Menorca is a biosphere reserve and it's a true treasure of our country. And as of now, it also is World Heritage. Now I'll give the floor to the Chair of the Government of the Balearic Islands. Thank you once again for your support. Thank you very much, Ambassador. On behalf of the Government of the Balearic Islands, I wish to thank UNESCO for the inscription of this property. And I'd like to thank the ambassador for his dedication on this file. Today is a historic day for the Balearic Islands, for Menorca, and for Spain. And I wish to demonstrate the commitment of the government of the Balearic Islands to protect this site and to explain it for current and future generations so that it may be handed down as a full and intact example of heritage. Now I'll give the floor to Judila Franca. Thank you very much. Members of the committee, I wish to thank the World Heritage Committee for approving the inscription of Talaiòtica, Menorca. It's an honor for me as the chair of the Island Council of Menorca to accept this inscription on behalf of all of those working on this in the island. It is the result of tremendous efforts. With this inscription, all of the people of Menorca reiterate our commitment to preserve this heritage, which is important not just for us, but as of now, for the entire humankind. Thank you very much.
So I now invite ICMUS to present the nomination of cultural land